we are going to use Axios. So we're going to add a package to this. Same way as we do before, head into the client app, yarn add Axios.
Ooh, it's a little different.
Shoot, it is NPM app.
But you yarned it, right?
I did yarn it.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's all good though, because we're NPMing it, because we did NPM.
So is your node modules folder completely corrupted now?
No, it's yarn lock, and
Yeah.
it's yarn lock and an NPM lock or whatever. So you have to delete the yarn locks because you only want one lock file.
Yep. That's why it's taking so long, because it's making the
It's
yarn.
redoing everything. It's like it's
Right.
constructing an entire deal.
I can stop it.
Like I said, I wrote this a very long time ago.
Yes.
So we need to get rid of the. Oh, it's not there. Good. NPM
You will.
install
I remember
Axios.
some things.
Yep.
I made that mistake like at least once.
I still make that. I like yarn better than NPM.
Me too.
The only reason why I like it better is yarn is a funner word than NPM.
Me too.
Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Is it?
Me
It
too.
is. It emphatically is.
It's like a little cat with like playing with all yarn.
Yarn
I
is
literally
better than
carry
things that
yarn
are
around.
It's just true.
Yeah.
It's just a fact.
Though NPM has a really cool feature that I really like. It's called NPX. I don't know if we've seen it yet.
Ooh.
It's for when you're dealing with like global tools, like AppApp, right? Global tool. We installed it day one using NPM, right? So we have version 4.1.2. We have to update if there's an update. What NPX does, NPX always grabs the latest version and runs that.
That's cool.
So instead of installing AppApp and running AppApp every time, we could run NPX AppApp hello world, and it'll always run the latest version of AppApp. That's pretty cool. Doesn't save it in my project. It just says, hey, go grab the latest version of this tool and run it. So that's really cool. I think Yarn has an equivalent, but NPX is really super easy, don't they?
Now, when you run that, it's not installing that.
Correct. It's not installing
It's
it.
just getting an instance of it and then running it, right?
Yeah, it's getting the latest instance, running it, and then getting rid of that latest instance.
So if you went back and ran, you ran that, if you ran AppApp and you didn't do NPX, it would run the old one that you have
Yep.
on your. Okay.
Cool.
So it's not going to go and find the latest version?
And
It's
that
just
gives you a
gonna
live
be
version.
installed
Yeah.
Live, like a
Yep,
live.
whatever
app.
the latest is.
that you've installed locally.
No,
Oh.
anywhere.
So you would never actually have to install anything. You could just
Correct.
NPX it.
Yep.
Mm,
Really
so
cool
free
for
up
like,
resources.
and it's really cool for like scaffolding apps like AppApp, because yes, for the past 10 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever it's been, we've been doing up a new project pretty much every day, right? That's really unusual. Like greenfield development happens very rarely, which is fine, because most of what we do is maintain and build out current apps. So if you're going to install a generator in January, or when did y'all start? March? April, sorry, April. Wow. So April, you install a new generator in April. By the time you need a new one, probably in like December, there's probably an updated version of that, right? So instead of having to go back and manage that ourselves, like npm update AppApp, we always just go grab the latest version. That's really cool, at least for me. Anyways, install Axios. So now inside of my manage members, I'm going to import Axios. From Axios. And what routes do I want to call here? Well, I want to call get all members, right? And also create a member. And we have a delete or a delete button there. I think.
We absolutely, we absolutely do. It will certainly exist in 5 minutes.
Yeah, it says check in, but it actually means delete. And so we're going to call those 3 endpoints. We want to call the get all on component did mount whenever we new up the new components. Let's do that real fast. So component did mount. Axios dot get. Now normally this is where we go to, hey, go to my HTTPS localhost 5001/API/members, right?
But we don't have to do that now because we're on the full stack app, so we can just do /API. Bam.
Yep. Right, and that's it. We no longer need the domain because we're now all operating inside the same vault. I'm saying, hey, always go home to find my API. That's what we're doing. Yeah. Less configuration to care about. So now let's see if that works. We should get back, well, nothing, right?
Right.
Am I not running? Huzzah, there we go. Maybe. Maybe. Everyone have a good break.
I played Super Nintendo.
You played what?
The Super Nintendo.
Nice.
Oh, well, yeah.
Super Mario World.
This one.
Does it have Mario Kart on it?
Yeah.
Yes. Nice. Ooh, here we go. Got an error. API/members does not exist. Probably because I call it member. Aha.
Ooh, and it restarts the web app like fast, like normal.
Yep.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's running the exact same scripts for you under the hood. So yeah.
So it's got to be like two different scripts, one for the database and one for the web thing.
Yeah, and if you notice that, like, whenever we started up, and where was that? It's like, boom, .net's your server's up and running, but then it's like, ooh, now I got to do my React stuff.
Right.
So it's like, oh, server's up and running. Oh, now I got to actually start at my front end. So it's doing exactly that. It's saying that one command kicking off two different servers.
Is it compiling it then?
Yep. Yep.
Oh, it doesn't even compile it until it gets.
Right.
Wow.
Cool. So now we want to throw that in state. Members equals empty array. This dot set state. Members equals res.data. Looks familiar? Anything crazy?
Just that set state.
Yeah, right?
We use
No-
hooks.
Yeah, we can use hooks. For our next component, we'll use hooks
Oh,
because we're already like halfway down here.
that's cool.
We want to go, hey, this dot state dot map member return. Oops. Got my squiggles all messed up. You know, I found a whole bunch of really cool names for the squiggles, like what they're called. You know how like the hashtag is like Octothorpe? Apparently, some variations, those are called gull wings. Like seagulls, like gull wings.
Oh, just like a word out.
Yeah, like a gull.
They're just doing a G-force turn or something.
Yeah. So yeah, like that's really cool.
Like the
What was the
No,
hashtag?
we're on a
Use
floor.
that. What else you got?
What else do I got? It was called a Torbeck brace. Don't know where that came from. Gullwing. I'll find it, but yeah, it's quite
What was the hashtag when you said?
Octothorpe.
Octothor?
Yeah. First name.
Commonly today, they signify hugging in electronic communication.
What?
Yeah, that's
Squiggles?
what it says.
Gullwings?
Yeah, go ahead and hug member
Oh, look,
first
this
name.
makes me
Oh,
think
it
of
looks like
something
it
else.
does. It looks like a top-down view of someone extending their arms. If that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
That's how I'm gonna get my hugs now.
Yeah.
Come here and give me a hug.
I-
Yeah, give it a hug.
No, I'm
I
saying
think
like
it's
bird's
top
eye.
view, like an
Oh,
Bird's eye,
okay.
top down.
Why is my code broken? You gotta put a hug on it.
What?
Space. We want space between first name and last name.
Go hug it.
Huggy bear.
We do.
It's lonely.
It'll display that way.
Yeah.
Cool.
It reads.
Sorry,
It reads
I'm
up.
having trouble switching back.
Jason.
Yeah. Remember, JSX will read up to one space before it's like, oh, what's going on here?
This is, I don't know, probably something I should already know. But we wrapped everything, that whole map function, in brackets, right?
Right
Saying,
here?
hey,
Yeah.
this is JavaScript.
Yep.
So why do we have to wrap member.firstname in JavaScript? Or
Because as soon as we hit the return on line 31, we're back in JSX.
We're back. Okay.
Yeah. So we're going JSX, ooh, JavaScript, ooh, JSX, ooh, JavaScript, ooh, JSX.
Dimensional
But that
shifts.
return is encompassed within those brackets.
Yeah, but those alligators mean that it's a
You know,
JSX. Yeah, that's when we go back to JSX,
Okay.
which are called pointy brackets
It's like a universe
Now,
within
could
a
you put
universe.
first name and last name in the same,
or brokets. Sorry, what?
same column?
Like put first name and last name together? Yeah,
Just like
I could.
one?
If I wanted to do that though, I'd have to somehow calculate that space there. So what I would probably do
Cat
Those-
is use string interpolation
interpolation, yeah, that's what I meant.
and then wrap those. Wrap
Oh, you
those.
still have to wrap them individually though.
Yeah,
now you're
because
making
now we're in
a mess.
JavaScript. In JavaScript, that's the syntax for string interpolation.
Too
Right?
much work. Pass.
Yeah, this is what I struggle with.
Yeah,
But
like this
like-
crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Could you just return it as an object and then it would just be?
It just automatically do it for me.
No, it would just like you wouldn't have to separate them in each different.
So you're
code
saying,
bases.
so what do you mean return it by an object? Was that it in that sentence?
So like, could you return the first name and the last name within the same curly braces? Is what I'm trying to
Would
get
it map
at.
it out?
Only by putting them is still in their own curly braces.
Oh.
That's the only way.
Yeah.
Unless you mapped it or something.
So we could put a read-only property on our POCO in C# called full name that says that does this for us.
Okay.
We could, or we can just do something like this. Cool. That's fine. Let's go to add something now. Right. So we want to add something on the form submit, right? Add new member equals E. We know this is going to be on a form submit, so E.prevent default.
So again, we know where they're going to do what?
We know this is going to be on a form submit function.
Okay.
On submit. Submit equals this dot add new member.
Submit rather than something.
I was like, why is that not coming up? Thank you. We know this is going to be on a form because we wrap our HTML inside of a form, so let's set up the groundwork already. Now, how do we keep track of stuff in React? If you recall, every time one of these inputs change, we have to update state with it, right?
On change.
So each one of these is going to have an on change. This dot update value. And I'm going to do it the cheater way, or the easier way, more generic way. So I think we covered this a little bit. If I put in name on each one of my inputs, so like this is what, first name? What I can do,
That's how you put a label, right? When you call it by name.
so yes. You can have a label, and that label has a form, and you can point it to another HTML element. So last name, we call it birthday, right? Emergency contact name. What we can do here inside this update value function
Right.
is now we can say, hey, you know what? This dot set state, and whenever we set state, we want to update the member, but we want to update e.target.name property of that member. So the syntax isn't really there yet, but let's work that out. Const new state is this dot state. And then state.member e.target value equals e.target.value, and this should be name, not value. And this dot set state.
Oh, that's cool.
All right, so let's break this down a little bit. All right, because so E is being fired off by the input field, right?
Yeah.
So we're saying every time we type something, we're going to run this function. This function is going, hey, go to my current state, find something called member, which is going to be initialized as an empty object here in all 30 seconds. And whatever the name is of our input field, update that value with whatever we're typing in. So whenever they're typing in the first name, it's going to update the property called first name. Whenever it's updating date of birth, it's going to be updating the thing called birthday.
That's so
So now I can put this function on any input field that we add, and it'll still work. Right? Super generic.
Yeah.
Whew.
And that's because you put name.
And that's because I put a name on the input.
I like
Yeah, right? I like that too. Let's see if this works. Add a member here.
Is it the same idea to like search for things?
Maybe? That sentence is a
Instead
bit
of
vague.
updating it, maybe you're looking for like when you're looking for something in your database.
I'm going to leave that as a maybe as we dive it out into the search later.
You've explained this to me before, but how come you can't do
Say
state.member.e.target.name?
that again. So like,
So the syntax, I know it's not dot notation or it's not doing what I think it's doing. So you can't do state.member.e.target.name.
oh, so something like this,
Mm-hmm.
right? So with this syntax, this is saying, hey, find state. State has a property called member. Member has a property called E. E has a property called target, and target has a property called name.
Right.
So if we had a really big, complex JSON structure, yeah, that would work. But here, E is not a property of member, right?
Right.
E is the event that was fired. So that's why we can't do that.
Okay. So that those brackets are saying what?
Is saying, hey, find me. Those brackets are the same as going, hey, state.member first name.
Okay.
So it's saying do that event on target.name.
Yeah, grab me the name of whatever the event is, whatever fired the event. So grab me the name. Look for that key on this object. So in this case, here e.target.name is first name. So it's going to find the first name property on the member object. to see this in action, Amanda.
So this saves you from having to put like everything in your input field and state, like I did for the employee.
Yeah, like update, instead of having like an update first name, update last name, update date of birth, update emergency contact name, update emergency contact phone, and update, there's a sixth one. But like, instead of having those 5 functions,
Right.
we have one function that works on anything. So whenever we get to, adding another field on here, we just add a new input field, and it'll work.
What is that syntax called?
Bracket.
So
Just called bracket syntax?
Yeah,
when you added a new input field, you don't have to do anything to the function.
correct.
So how does it know that you added that new input field? The name?
Yep. As long as the input field has a name and calls that function on change.
Oh. So it's treating that name area like a function, like an object property.
Yep.
You extracted everything, so it just inputs everything for him, and then that's beautiful.
So let's see if this works. Go ahead to our React tools. Dive down very far. Last name. Come on, React. There we go. Aha. And as you see on the right-hand side of the screen, it's populating the thing as we go.
On change, yeah.
Yep,
Little Google's helping you out.
Nice.
it is. Yeah, so now that we have our member and state of who we want to add, we just now need to make that post, right? Right. So now on the on submit, post this back to my API. Axios.post /API /member. We want to pass it this .state.member. Then, when we get that member back, we want to add that to our list of members, right?
Yes.
This .setState members equals this .state .members .concat this .state .member. Take my current list of members and add that new member to it. Cool, so let's actually see if this works. All right. Born over here, born yes, last week.
I think Doug. No, Doug Root.
But we only.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, right?
Yes!
Good old Craig Robinson.
I watched the first season half of that show. I loved it.
And why did you?
I know, right? It's on that list of stuff to watch.
He's great in the office, too.
Yeah, right?
Every day I eat a blueberry muffin. Today I didn't eat a blueberry muffin. I should have had that blueberry muffin.
So let's see what this is doing whenever I hit create member. It's going to do a post. Hey, created. Awesome. Doug Judy.
But we
Yay.
only set state for the name, right?
Hmm.
We're only sending it the full name.
We're sending it everything.
Everything we made the
Yeah.
input fields for, because we made on change events for all of them to hook to the same
Mhm.
on change function.
Yep.
They just update that property for member.
Wait, go back to
Sweeping
the
it.
So because on like line 39 we named the thing for that field's name, on line 28 when we do the set member e.target.name,
Mm-hmm.
we're using the target value at the end of line 28 to update the name property of member for whatever that input field is. So if he scrolls down to like date of birth, because the name for the date of birth one is birthday,
Oh,
It
I
does
see what
each-
you're saying.
this dot update value updates the birthday for member with e.target.value.
I didn't realize everything was
It's
named.
double extraction, so there's 2 variables that are extracted there. There's
Mhm.
the target name, target value, so those change every time. And so it kind of blows your mind because it's like a sweeping tool, man. It's just like it's taking two different things that don't even exist and then just like making them exist.
So is it, when you set state here, is it doing it all at one time?
No, it's doing it whenever I type a keystroke.
Okay.
So every time I type something,
So if you typed like half a name and we saw it in
Yeah.
network, it would just show
Um,
like the first three letters of whatever.
so like if I would type AMA instead of Amanda and hop into my state, you'll see that AMA is my first name. And as I type, after every keystroke, my state is updating.
So that's how you know your React code is working. That's how you do it to check your code.
Yep.
Because it always felt like React, I was in blind.
Oh,
Yeah, React DevTools are like, whew, amazing. Cool, create members. Getting members. We'll pause on delete for right now. Because I want to talk about creating and seeing members. Because I want to talk about checking members in now. Aha, go back to the actual thing we care about, checking members in. I'm going to head back to my home page. You know, we got requested to do this one with hooks. Yeah, so let's try that out, all right? The very first thing that I'm going to do, just to make sure that it's correct, is something that Phil and Dawn had to do yesterday. Is that I'm going to run. What's the package? Is that I want to make sure, while Phil's looking that up, I want to make sure that all my NPM packages are up to date.
Oh, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, right? That sounds great. Because I'm using the latest and greatest stuff now. I want to make sure everything is up to date. So what's the package, Phil?
It's npm-check-updates.
NPM.
It was, I think we installed
Check.
globally, right?
Yeah, I can either install it globally, or I can use npx to grab the latest version and run the tool without installing it.
That's cool.
So what's the next command?
The next command is npm-check-updates.
U?
Space dash U.
Like this?
You got it.
Cool.
That's super cool.
Yes. So I was going to update everything in the package JSON. I like to do this because if we are going to use the latest and greatest features, I want to make sure that I'm on the latest version of React. I'll also update everything else while I'm at it too. So now I'm going to remove a couple things for housekeeping. Node modules, as well as my package JSON.lock. Let's get rid of all those ones, just to start off with a clean, fresh, new slate. Node modules is such a huge thing.
So R is recursive, F is force.
Yep. Remove my package lock, npm install. Yeah, I don't know if we installed trash on day one for you Mac users. Trash is another thing to delete stuff, but I use rm-rf. It deletes forcefully and everything inside it. So it's a really powerful tool. Power is dangerous. It doesn't go to the recycling bin. It deletes it. Gone. So yeah.
So the package tool that we just used, the check updates.
Yeah.
That's just a visualization of what's outdated. Like if you were just to run npm install, it would technically do the same thing.
Nope. npm install goes to your package JSON and finds whatever versions are in there and installs a version that's compatible with that. npmx check updates will update each thing inside your package JSON to the latest version.
Cool.
And then we have to reinstall the latest versions, of course.
Right.
Oh, we have to
So
reinstall.
you do npmx check updates and then npm install?
Which is what
Which you just did.
I'm doing right now. One of the drawbacks of npm is that it's a bit slow. That's why I'm kind of chilling over here installing a little bit.
Okay.
JavaScript, right? JavaScript in the middle of C#.
Yeah.
I have an out of the world question.
Cool.
Out of the world when you're a developer.
Yeah.
But like, how many simultaneous different languages are you writing inside each other? How deep do the nesting wells go? That's my question. On like an average Tuesday when you're accomplishing
Yeah.
lots of things, is it like
So-
a max of something safe, or is it like, oh, periodically we're just gonna throw coffee script in here?
It's usually a handful. You think about it. Today we've done HTML. Well, we should do CSS. All right. JavaScript.
Right.
We've done C#,
Right.
and we're thinking in terms of SQL.
Yes.
So there's already 5 right there. If you add anything else onto that, our brain just can't function on that level.
That was kind of why I asked, because like working memory has a maxes out at 7. For,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah, typically there's going to be there may or may not be a language on top of JavaScript. So like TypeScript or CoffeeScript.
Okay.
And there may or may not be a language on top of CSS, like Sass or less. So it's anywhere between 5 to 7.
What's the saying? You can't hold a piece of paper anymore than something.
Yeah, something like that.
Polish and
You know what?
Can't polish a turd.
That's something else.
That was a different saying. That was what we're doing.
I just wanted to work
You're never gonna make one ring and rule them all.
Maybe.
I
We're
think it's
trying.
kind of like that. They just kind of call it different things. That's all it is. Really, it's really good because C# is just like JavaScript. And it's all kind of the same.
So there's actually something really cool called Blazor. Blazor is client-side C#. No more JavaScript ever again. Makes me happy. Anyways, I'm going to convert this to a hook.
Yeah.
Export default function. Home. And of course, I made a change, so I'm going to test it out. Because remember, with a hook, you need to make it a function first, right?
Right.
No more classes. Don't need it. So I want to make sure that it still works before I try to do anything cool with it.
Wow. This is probably not a problem with NPM.
Like,
Fail. Fail. Fail.
I just did the.
Yes, my fix was just remove.
What's following these directions?
That's what Bill made me do.
So let's follow the directions. I need to
You did
delete.
the first two, didn't you?
It's because you didn't do the yarn. Did you yarn update and then you didn't delete it again, or?
It's because I need to remove. Babel, one of the dependencies.
Mm,
It's no longer an explicit dependency anymore. And then npm install. Woo! That was a lot faster.
well, it wasn't that way.
Fuck. It wasn't the right directory. That's why it was all so fast. I was like, that was really fast. That's better. Has anyone ever looked at the size of your node modules folder? It's like a black hole, I swear.
It's like so deep, so many different folders.
Mm-hmm.
That was me last night, trying to figure out why my
Where is it in?
Yeah, I periodically go in and delete it for like old projects, just because like I need to free up space, and it makes that big of a difference. And there's actually tools that will search your hard drive for things called node modules and actually delete them. It's pretty cool. It's pretty handy.
Prometheus linked, but hopefully it's not the case.
Yeah, right.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Did that error mention
Nope.
Prometheus linked?
Nope. Just Babel. What is Babel, by the way?
Good question.
So like Tower of
It is.
Babel,
It's very much, yeah. That's what the name is inspired from.
So it's, the Tower of Babel was what taught everybody language or something like that.
No.
They could speak or I don't know.
No,
They
close.
were building it and they were separated and that's how language apparently. Yeah, they all started speaking different languages to communicate. So is that a way for other languages to be translated?
So each browser technically speaks its own language, right?
I was gonna say, that's kind of the point of the whole Tower of Babel thing, is that at the end of it, nobody spoke the same language,
Yeah.
and people could not communicate.
Like there's code that will run in Chrome that won't run in IE and vice versa. What Babel does, Babel takes your JavaScript from the different languages that it has to speak and compiles it into a language that it can be read across all browsers.
Okay.
So it's like an earfish.
Yeah, one of the from Hitchhikers. Yeah, that's what Babel does. It's found on most modern web projects.
They should call it earfish.
It's period.
I think it's actually called a Babelfish.
It's about,
Is it really called
Yeah.
Babelfish?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like, I'm told when it's like right there, so probably.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's in the book. It's called Babelfish, right?
Mhm.
My brain made the connection. I did not.
Oh no, I think it's because
There we go.
I forked it.
Almost.
I was gonna say, when I said there we go, it's not able to do that.
Yeah. Come on. Yes, lit as well. While this is working, let's look at our homepage wireframe. So on our homepage wireframe, we have a couple of different things, right? We have a search, which is probably going to be a new endpoint, right? Given someone's first name or last name, find the person inside of my database and filter down that list. There's also going to be a check-in button. So where do we want to store these check-ins? Because we need to store it somewhere, right? Whenever someone checks in someplace, we need to store that they checked in at our gym at this time.
In state.
In state,
It's in
No,
the table.
it probably should be on the member account.
yeah, so it needs to be someplace more persistent than state. So a database, right?
Would that be a Boolean?
So a Boolean,
I mean, not that it's being stored there, but just like Boolean check yes, you know, and then. Boolean
so I've
no.
checked in, so has checked in,
Has checked in.
Is
So
that
then
the
it goes
gym?
over-
To the
check in once.
Right.
Once I check in the first time, I'm always checking.
Can't toggle it.
But when do I leave? That's tell you that I'm leaving.
Oh,
Do you care that I'm leaving?
no.
No, I just care that you're here. That's it.
So just, then it has occurred.
Yeah, so something that occurs. So now we have multiple instances of this. Will and Amanda?
Go ahead.
I think it would be, you may have to set up a separate table where the member would do a check-in. It would write to that table the date, the time and date that check-in was done for that member. And so you can actually go back and look and say, okay, this member's checked in this month, this many times, blah, blah, blah. So it checks your attendance.
We're gonna have a check-in table, right?
One to many, right?
And a one-to-many. Yep.
Yep.
Each check-in is gonna have its own ID. It's gonna have its own timestamp, so the date time to see like when it actually checked in, as well as a marker on the floor, as well as who checked in. So going to be a foreign key back to the members table.
Right.
So ID member ID and we'll call it rank.
So if we didn't care about like the time, we could just throw it into the member table, right? I mean, we're just doing it to extract it to keep things separated. Is that the only reason it's in its own table?
So yes and no. So we could just do kind of what we thought about first was like, oh, we'll just put a boolean here and update it as they come and go. But what if we care how many times that they come? What if we care what time of day they come?
Or how
But if
long?
we're staffing
How
people
long?
based on membership.
Yes.
Couldn't that all be?
Who is this now?
Can you pass this back, please?
Yeah. So even if we cared about all that stuff, we could potentially still put it in the member table, couldn't we?
We can't because one member is always going to check in multiple times. Because if we put it here, we can only store the last time because we're only storing one instance of it. We're storing multiple things, then we need to store it in a separate table.
It's a nice gold wings, Mark.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Joe.
Yep.
Accidental goals.
Because it's a whole set of nouns to go with that member, so it gets its own table.
Mm-hmm.
What did you say, Amanda?
It's a whole set of nouns associated with each member, so it gets its own table.
We'll try it afterwards.
Like a movie has a whole set of actors to go with it.
Yeah, we've found a new noun inside of our system. We found a new entity that we didn't really think about first. Like, oh, we're gonna have members, we're gonna have trainers, we're gonna have classes. Those are easy. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute, I need to store multiple check-ins somewhere.
And so if you
The
put them on
fact
the
that
same
there's gonna be
table,
multiple check-ins is the big one.
Yes. Yep. Say that again, Dante.
if you put it on one table, you're gonna have to check in one, check in two, check
Right.
in three, and then you're gonna have like 900,000 columns.
Yeah, so I make columns that are like, hey, checking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Really long, and I'm gonna have a max because I'm gonna be done typing at some point.
It's way better to query because you're gonna
But
say
why?
query where check-in equals the newest one.
No, you just update the row value and check-ins go up.
Then you lose
Yeah,
your
if you have a
record.
counter, you can do that.
You lose your record, and then the police are after him because there was this robbery, and he looks like a guy, and he's like, "Dude, I was at the gym." And then they go into the record, and they go, "Oh, sorry, man, we delete your last check-in every time." And then
Yeah.
the guy's like, and then he gets out of jail, and he murders everybody that works there.
This
So-
is why you make new tables.
In this extreme example, but he brings up a valid point. You know, apart from murdering and stuff, it all comes down to, hey, I want to store more than my last thing. Anytime I want to store more than my last thing, even if we had a rolling counter, oh, so and so has checked in 5 times. Oh, now it's 6 times. We can still only store the last date that they checked in. So that's why, you know, we're going to regulate this at the table. Just use that.
That makes a lot of sense.
And it's also good for business analysis, you know?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
You want to see how often people are actually coming to your gym because you're wondering if your gym equipment sucks and you want to get new gym equipment. You're like, hey man, last month everybody was coming in a lot, but then the running machine broke or whatever, now nobody's coming in.
Just
I think it's
shows
because
up.
You know, I think it's because we need a new treadmill or something.
Yeah. So, like, exactly. He's not wrong. He's going, hey, people want to know more stuff. We're in the age of information. We want to know everything that's going on inside of our systems. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no
I
whammies.
mean, according to Redux logic, you know, you want to know where they touch the machine.
Yeah.
Or like where they walk in your gym, like
Oh, yeah.
what parts of
It's
the
like
floor they touch.
Heat maps.
So people will really want to know what's going on. How often are people coming in twice a day? Do you have return people? Do you have them once a day? So they want to know that stuff. We need to store it somewhere for them. It's a very common business case. You can kind of almost assume that. And again, it fits naturally into what we have to do anyways. I think it works.
We're in.
Yay!
Yes. So I head home. Yes. I'm so happy with that.
Or another one's good, like how many people came in last July 4th, so that this July 4th, how many people can we expect to come in this July 4th?
You just close.
Yeah.
Or should we just close?
Right. Like if only 3 people came in on July 4th, I can save money by closing down my business for holidays and give my employees an extra day off.
But not if I didn't create a data table.
Exactly. So that second table will save money. I said that like a smartass, but I'm actually serious. So here we are. We need to do a couple of different things. We need to go, hey, whenever this thing loads, we want to go and load up our get all members, right? Yep. Use effect, and also use state, const, members, set members equals use state, and then use effect. We want to do, hey, import Axios.
Cool to be able to use arrays again.
I could use arrays.
Not in C#.
You use list in C sharps.
That's right.
Or some other crazy type like iQueryable. Like, what the hell is that? Axios.get slash API slash members.
Member.
Yeah.
Memers.
I don't know why I want to type members all the time.
That sounds like fun.
All right.
Just like walking memes.
Our gym is not a real gym. It's a gym for memes.
And for memes. They gotta get school something.
I've got a good workout.
We want to set it with rest.data, right?
Yeah.
I'm kind of glossing over this because we know this already.
Remind me the empty array part.
Run it once and don't watch anything.
The watch and don't
Yeah.
watch anything. Okay.
Eventually, spoilers, we're going to hook this up to a search bar.
Right.
Let's say every time we search for something, we type something, go search.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, eventually. But for right now, we're not. We're just saying, hey, go grab everything for me.
And that's parameter of, yeah.
Use effect.
Use effect, okay.
I'm going to go, hey, you know what? Members dot map. Did I call it memers? I did. Member
You have a lot
return.
of members here.
I lost it. Li member dot first name. Member dot last name. We got a button here for checking in. Ta-da! So now I'm gonna come back to the home page.
It added return parentheses for you?
Yeah.
That was nice of it.
Yeah. Editor is pretty nice. Okay. Cool. Nothing too crazy, right? So it is 1, 2, sometime. I thought it was 1:57. I was gonna watch earlier. But actually, we're at a pretty good spot because right now our next feature is either a search or a check-in, and those are both new controls, so it's really the stuff we built. So let's come back at 3 o'clock, and let's continue this further for another like half hour, 3. Cool. Not much, but just enough to kind of inch it forward a little bit. Because I would like to get to logging in and authentication tomorrow. That's the goal. So I think we just kind of wrap up today. Let's come back at 3 o'clock. Last time, remember, Stack Overflow is priority. Use the tools you talked about today to really kickstart your API. And then also, Capstone is probably not as high a priority. Focus on the Stack Overflow to really get in that extra practice. Really get in like working with C# and building up those fundamental skills to help your Capstone be a little bit easier. That sound good? Good deal. See y'all at 3. I'll post the notes and lectures.